We're jumping straight into some urgent, breaking news for this explainer, covering a developing situation in the Himalayas, a devastating cloudburst that has just struck Doda.
Okay, let's get right to it. We're looking at the Doda district in Jammu and Kashmir, a really mountainous region where a severe weather event is unfolding as we speak. And let me tell you, the initial reports coming in are deeply, deeply concerning.
Before we break anything else down, we have to start with the most tragic number coming from the ground. Right now, initial reports are confirming that this disaster has already claimed 4 lives. It's just a heartbreaking figure that immediately tells you the gravity of the situation.
So, to really understand the impact, first we need to look at what actually happened. Let's start with the event itself, this cloudburst and the absolute havoc it has unleashed in this remote part of the Jammu region.
Now, for anyone who might not be familiar with the term, a cloudburst isn't just heavy rain. It's something else entirely. Think of it like a massive water balloon bursting in the sky over a very small area. The sheer volume of water coming down all at once is what makes them so incredibly dangerous, almost always leading to flash floods.
And that is precisely what happened here. A massive cloudburst hit, and the immediate result was a powerful, destructive flash flood that just swept through the area, causing unbelievable destruction.
Okay, so now let's look at the tangible impact of that flooding. This section is all about the immediate and tragic consequences for the people on the ground.
And here we have to come back to that devastating number. Authorities have now confirmed the human cost. 4 people have lost their lives as a direct result of this cloudburst and the floods that followed.
And beyond the tragic loss of life, the damage to property is just immense. We're talking about at least 15 houses completely destroyed or just washed away by the force of that water. That's 15 families who have lost everything in an instant.
In the face of a disaster like this, a rapid response is absolutely critical. And that brings us to Section 3, the government agencies that are now mobilized and in action to manage this crisis.
What you need to see here is the sheer scale of the response. This is a full-scale, multi-agency operation. You've got the National Disaster Response Force, the NDRF, working right alongside its state counterpart, the SDRF. Add to that the Jammu and Kashmir Police, the Indian Army, and the Civil Administration. They are all coordinating on the ground right now.
And this isn't just a local effort. The coordination is happening at the very highest level. The region's chief minister is personally monitoring the situation to make sure those rescue and relief efforts are as effective as they can possibly be.
And out of this response comes a really critical piece of advice for the public. The most important message for anyone in or near the region is to follow this official advisory. Stay away from rivers and other water bodies. They are dangerously swollen and totally unpredictable. Okay, now we need to zoom out a bit to understand the full picture. Because this event in Doda, well, it isn't just a random, isolated incident. As this next section will show, it's actually part of a much larger and very disturbing pattern.
And this, right here, illustrates the alarming frequency just perfectly. First, there was a calamity in Kishtwar, then a disaster in Kathua, and now devastation in Doda. All of these major cloudburst events have happened in the same region, in all of them within the last 2 weeks.
Let me just repeat that because it is so important. The Doda cloudburst is the 3rd such major disaster to hit the Jammu division in just a fortnight. This highlights an escalating crisis for the entire region.
This brings us to our final section. And honestly, it's an urgent one. We're talking about the alert for the next 12 hours. The danger is not over.
The official weather department has issued a clear warning. They are forecasting more heavy to very heavy rain across the Jammu region for the next 12 hours. And that means the risk of more flooding, more landslides, it remains extremely high.
And this alert isn't isolated to just 1 or 2 places. As this list shows, it covers a huge swath of the Jammu division, from Kathua and Samba all the way to Ramban and Udhampur. Authorities are urging residents across all these areas to remain vigilant.
You know, as we watch these extreme weather events become more and more frequent, it leaves us with a vital question. In this era of changing weather, how do we prepare? How do we adapt? And ultimately, how do we keep ourselves safe?